WFM 91.7.
Good morning. Thank you so much for staying with us right here on Women Radio WFM 91.7. And if you're just joining us, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Women Radio WFM 91.7, Nigeria's first radio station for women and their families. So I'm hoping that today is going on well for you. This is about 6 minutes after 10. And well, on the side of, will I say the world, or right now the state, Ogun State where we are. It's raining, so I don't know for where you are. Hopefully you are covered. Hopefully you're well protected, because it could actually get to affect your health. All right, so just please just make sure that you have everything it takes for you to be covered under this raining season. Okay, make sure that you prepare for that, because it could just meet up with you at any point, and at anywhere you are. So just make sure that you have something to use to protect yourself in the rain. All right, so yes, my name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser, and you're welcome to Radio Doctor. Yes, Radio Doctor is your free health consultation program where real doctors advise real people. Today is Tuesday, the 17th day of October, and well, Radio Doctor comes to you every day of the week, Mondays through Fridays from 10 to 11 a.m. Now, Radio Doctor is Nigeria's first specialized health program where medical doctors consult for free and advise on radio on your Women Radio 91.7. Radio Doctor, like I said, comes to you from 10 a.m. Monday through Fridays. Now, today's Radio Doctor, which is on women's health. Now, yesterday I told you that each day is for a specialized, medical, it's for a specialized health. Now, for Mondays, we look at children's health. For Tuesdays, we get to look at women's health. For Wednesdays, we get to look at general health, right? And so and so it goes for the other days too. Now, today, Women's Health on Radio Doctor is supported by ACT Foundation. All right, so it's supported by ACT Foundation. All right, you're welcome to Radio Doctor once again. Today on Radio Doctor, I have Dr. Collins Aboloje, and he is an Assistant Medical Director and Fertility Physician at St. Ives Specialist Hospital. Good morning, Dr. Aboloje. Thank you so much for joining us on Radio Doctor this morning.
Good morning, Rose.
All right, so how's your week starting up, or how is the week going for you, rather?
Well, it's just like, it's okay. It's just the usual for me.
All right, so we're excited to have you on Radio Doctor this morning. You will be consulting and advising on what you should know when trying to get pregnant. Now, trying to get pregnant, or as we know it, TTC, trying to conceive. It's a sensitive topic when it comes to families, when it comes to women specifically. This could really be a sensitive topic, and it's something that I think we should keep talking about, create more awareness on this, and in every form of it, because at the end of the day, we have women, or we have other people who are hoping and praying that, a lot of families have these blessings. So, today, like I said, you'll be consulting and advising on what you should know when trying to get pregnant. Now, Women's Health on Radio Doctor today is supported by ACT Foundation. All right, so today is Tuesday, and of course it's about 9 minutes after 10. So do want to call us up on 07000 917 917. Send us a text or a WhatsApp message to 070 317 56537. All right, do well to send your questions or call in. Let's get to hear you this morning on what you should know when trying to conceive. You can follow us up on all our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, and of course YouTube at WFM 917. Download our mobile app WFM 917. Log on to www.wfm917.com to listen live from any part of the world. All right, so let's get on to it this morning and talk to Dr. Aboloje on what you need to know when trying to conceive or trying to get pregnant. All right, now Dr. Aboloje, let's start off with this question. When people get married, or when people are ready to actually, get pregnant, so when a woman is ready to get pregnant, now, after trying for how long should it be considered an infertility issue? when a woman is unable to conceive, maybe she has waited for some time. Some would take few months, some would take a year, some would take 3 years before they could actually say, no, wait, what's going on with me? Why have I not been able to conceive? So after how long?
Yeah. Well, before a woman can be said to be having infertility, okay, she should have tried for at least 1 year. Now, this also has age stipulations to it, or age specificity to it. If
Okay.
a woman is below the age of 35 years of age, okay, she can actually try for 1 year before she can say, okay, yeah, I'm having one form of challenge or the other in trying to conceive. So basically, she has to be consistently trying for 1 year. Okay, and if all of our efforts are proven futile, then you can actually say she's actually having infertility. But if the woman is above the age of 35, then it's advised that she only tries for 6 months. Yes. Now there is a reason to that. Yes. The reason is because the best time for a woman to conceive is between the ages of 20 and 30. After that particular age of 30, okay, the eggs of the woman start to diminish, starts to reduce. Of course, not at a faster rate. It's not at a fast rate. It's just it starts reducing slowly. So this is the reason why they placed that benchmark that before 35 you have to try for 1 year, and after 35 you have to try for just 6 months before you start seeking intervention. Because of course, there's an obvious problem ongoing, so that will require medical intervention. So the cutoff there as it stands, like I said earlier, it is 1 year if you're under the age of 35 and 6 months if you're above the age of 35.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Abulaji, for that. This is Women Radio. Do well to dial the number 07000 917 917. Send us a text or a WhatsApp message to 070 317 56537. And if you want to call in and let us know how Radio Doctor has affected your health, especially women's health, please do well to send that in also on our WhatsApp platform, 070-317-56537. All right, now Dr. Abulaji has just explained to us when it should be considered, infertility when a woman is trying to conceive. All right, now let's look at factors that can affect a couple's chances of conceiving. What are some of the things that, in your years of experience, what are some of the factors that actually gets to affect a couple when trying to conceive?
Okay. So now, first of all, before I proceed to answering that question, it is important that I lay a small foundation. Basically, there are 5 criteria. Okay, these are not the factors. This is just the background information. Okay. There are 5 criteria that must be fulfilled before any couple can conceive. Any couple at all. Okay. Yes. So, of course, this does not apply to same-sex, couples. We're talking about just for global audience, as the case might be. So we're talking about the conventional man-woman relationship. There are 5 factors there are 5 criteria that must be fulfilled before they can get pregnant. Okay. Number 1, the sperm has to be of good quality and quantity. Okay. Number 2, the woman should have excellent knowledge of our fertile window. Okay. So this, by extension, means that she should actually know our menstrual cycle. If you're having a 28-day cycle, from studies have shown that, of course, such a woman will ovulate on day 14. Similarly, if the woman is having maybe a 26-day cycle, such a woman will ovulate most likely on day 12. Okay, so this also changes with respect to the length of the menstrual cycle of the woman. So these days, it is so easy to actually track all of these things because so many apps are available these days that actually help women to know their cycle. So basically, the knowledge of the cycle and the fertile window is very important. Number 3, the womb itself. The womb has parts of it. It has the perimetrum, the myometrium, and the endometrium. Now, these are all medical grammar. It just means that it has an inner portion, a middle portion, and the outer portion. Okay? So basically, the inner portion is the portion called the endometrium that sustains. It is the part that accepts the embryo and sustains and keeps it. Okay, where it develops into a full-blown baby until the baby is delivered. So there should be nothing in that space, that endometrium, like fibroids, polyps, or adhesions, maybe from previous surgeries or even infections, as the case might be. They shouldn't be present in there because their presence in there will cause problems and will prevent the woman from getting pregnant ultimately. Number 4, the tubes must be open. Both tubes must be open. Okay. Now, usually this is the reason why most women have important structure because they are the first place where fertilization of the egg of the woman takes place.
Okay.
So yes, so basically the sperm swims through the vagina, goes through the cervix and through the inner space of the womb, and then into the tubes where it meets with the ovulated egg, okay, the egg that has been ovulated from the ovary. Okay, it fertilizes it in there. When the egg and the sperm unite, they form what we call the embryo. So basically, once the sperm fertilizes the egg, it becomes an embryo. So that embryo travels back into the endometrium, okay, into that inner space of the womb to implant and then grow into the full-blown baby. So the reason why some persons are not getting pregnant as a criteria is that the tubes might have been blocked. So as a result, that union between the egg and the sperm will not happen. Okay, and lastly, the ovaries must be producing eggs. The ovaries of women actually have, well, just to categorize, two main functions: egg production, okay, and of course hormone production. They are the site where the estrogens and the progesterones are produced, and consequently will have effect on the womb and also the growth and development of a baby. So that is just background knowledge. Now to talk about the factors that would affect or that would prevent, or factors that influence or affect fertility or infertility, as the case might be. Number one is maternal age and late marriage. Now, it is said that the best time for a woman to get pregnant is between the ages of 20 and 30. After that age of 30, the eggs start to reduce at a slower rate. But then, this reduction in the egg quantity in the woman becomes faster somewhat after the age of 35. Okay, so it becomes very faster. And it's also said that, in fact, what studies have also shown is that the amount of eggs a woman has at the age of 37, 38, thereabout, is like 1% of what she had when she attained puberty. At the age of puberty, most women would have acquired potential to produce about 700,000 eggs. Of course, you do not produce 700,000 eggs. You only ovulate one egg at a time. Okay, so, but at the age of 38, what will be left in the ovary is somewhat around 25,000 eggs left. Of course, you know, so that's what studies have shown. And again, something that we also have to know is that as a woman ages, the ovaries also age. This in turn will affect the quantity and the quality of her eggs. Not just quantity now, but also quality. Now, when we talk about quality, it's also by reason of the age of the woman, it means that the eggs themselves would have also aged. Okay? Would have also aged, and as a result, they will be very, very susceptible to resulting in poor embryo formation and ultimately result in a lot of first trimester miscarriages. So most times, if you see a woman who is already over the age of 40, or maybe even at the age of 40, and then she gets pregnant spontaneously, okay, for most women, okay, after that age of 40, okay, usually they would experience first trimester pregnancy losses, and this is because of the poor quality of the egg that resulted in that embryo that got her pregnant. So this is also very important to know. So it's advised that women, of course, they try to get pregnant on time and try to complete their family, get pregnant and complete their family on time before the age of 35. So that is the overall advice. The second factor that can also affect the chance of the couple getting pregnant is also paternal age. Paternal age in this sense, of course, the age of the husband, the age of the hubby, the age of the partner. So basically, it is said that after the age of 40, the testosterone levels in men start to reduce. And this is also reflected in the somewhat decreased libido and sexual drive that most men experience, especially after the age of 40. Okay? And of course, this would also affect, by reason of this reduction in their testosterone and all of that, to also affect their sperm quality and even the sperm quantity. Of course, it's not in a marked way. By marked, I mean it's not in an overly expressed fashion. But of course, there will be some slight decline, just some slight reduction as the year goes by after the age of 40. Okay? Of course, it's also important that I state that the oldest father on earth is around the age of 94, I think 94 years of age. So it means that, of course, a man still has the potential to produce sperm at that age.
Okay.
But of course, the quantity and the quality of the sperm at that age will not be comparable to when the man was below the age of 40. So basically, it is also important to note all of that. Then, of course, something that also affects couples or prevents them from getting pregnant is the timing and the frequency of the intercourse. You find some people when they're trying to get pregnant or when they're ready to start a family, maybe by reason of the job that the man does is not readily available, it just comes in once in a while and all of that. All of this can also affect their chance of getting pregnant. So it is advised that couples who are trying to get pregnant have intercourse at least 3 times in a week. Of course, some people right now hearing me will be like, doctor, is it a job? Yes, I know it's not a job, but we're about trying to get pregnant. Yes, so it is very important. As a matter of fact, 48 hours to the build-up of ovulation is very crucial and it's very key. So it is important the couple meets 48 hours before the proposed date of ovulation, the 24 hours before the ovulation, and then even on the ovulation day. Now, the reason is because you have to have enough sperms available in the reproductive tract waiting for the egg, so that the moment the egg comes out, they start to do their job, of fertilization. So it helps that way. So that is the advice on that part. So the timing and the frequency of intercourse is key. Of course, if one wants to get pregnant, you must have intercourse.
Sure.
Exactly. So, of course, the duration of attempting pregnancy, the duration of attempting, trying to conceive is also a factor. For some persons, they try for a very short period of time and then they just give up. It's important that such people even know that the chance of getting pregnant in a month is 15%. Yes, we see a lot of people just get pregnant one time intercourse and then they get pregnant, but the chance that was allotted them that resulted in that pregnancy was 15%. And that is how it is spread. Like that's how it's spread over every monthly cycle that the woman has. 15% chance of getting pregnant. And with this, statistics have shown that only 25% of couples will get pregnant within 1 month of marriage. Okay, and around 75% of couples will get pregnant within 6 months. And of course, the value increases, okay, as they keep on trying, as they keep on becoming consistent in their attempts to get pregnant. And 90% of couples will get pregnant after at least within 1 year, not after, but within 1 year. And 95% of couples after 1 year. So it is important that people are consistent. Okay, couples are consistent in their effort in trying to get pregnant. The next thing that also affects the chance of people getting pregnant on time, okay, in this case now, is their previous use of contraception, contraceptives, IUDs, condoms, using pills, okay, and of course even injectables, implants, and all of that. So basically, it is stated that for people who have previously used contraceptives in whatever form, well, except condoms anyways, they actually have when they are ready to get pregnant, when they go off all these contraceptives, okay, they have a period of between 4 and 18 months. That's what studies have shown. 4 and 18 months before they are able to achieve pregnancy. So these are factors that should also be taken into cognizance. That in fact, the moment you're coming off a contraceptive, you actually have between 4 and 18 months before you can actually be able to conceive. Of course, for the various type and the more advanced the contraceptive is, somewhat it also determines how long it will take for that couple to conceive. The next thing that a lot of us actually are still coming to terms with is occupational hazards and environmental toxins. Now, the effects of urbanization and technological advancement, I mean, it's beautiful. These days we get to call, even right now we're doing this meeting over Wi-Fi and all of that. And studies have shown that the radio waves, that are emitted from the phone, with which the phone communicates with these radio towers and all of that, they actually have effect on sperm, on the spermatogenesis, on sperm production in men. You can imagine, something that is so good, that has made life so easy, has a detrimental effect on the sperm of men. So it is also important to note all of it. As a matter of fact, there are some recommendations right now to not place your phone in the front pocket, because your front pocket is very close to the testicles. So basically, you want to actually avoid that heat emission from the phone, okay? Because heat actually have a detrimental effect on the testicles. So, of course, people who have prolonged exposure by reason of their working in pesticide factories, chemical factories, where they use mercury, lead, and all of these things, actually have some effects to it. There's an effect to it in the sense that for women especially, it affects their ovarian function. So it is also important they note this. So the good news there is just to allay the fears of people. People who work in these factories, chemical factories, whatever factories, of course, can be provided with protective gear. So it's important that they stick to all the safety regimens and all the safety recommendations that they have been provided. Okay, rather than just flaunt and just break those, it's better they stick to it, because there is a reason why this safety and protective gears and all of that are provided for them, especially for people who work in all of these factories, chemical factories, pesticides, where they use mercury and all of these things. So it is very important, because there's a reason for that. And then, of course, the occupation of some people also affects sperm production, especially for men in this case. Now, the fact that we're talking about things that are specific to certain genders, of course, it applies to the couple, because, of course, a woman requires a man to get pregnant, and a man requires a woman for him to have a family. So basically, even though we're having this gender specificity, we're discussing things that are peculiar to different genders. Of course, it's also important that everyone has an idea of the things that affect each gender. So, of course, the next in line is diet. Now, there is no specific diet that has proven to cause infertility. There is none. There is none. But now, the catch there is that there are certain diets that will make that will predispose people to having a kind of body mass index. Now, there are certain diets these days people are engaging in slimming diet, keto, and all of these things. Of course, I'm not saying these are bad. They have their own benefits. But of course, any diet that tilts you towards the extremes of extremes of BMI, body mass indices. Of course, this diet, if the diet tilts you towards being underweight, of course, such a diet will have effect on the ovarian function of women, because that's proven to put that woman at risk, mostly women now, at risk of having hypothalamic dysfunction. If woman is already having hypothalamic dysfunction, one way or the other will produce low hormones that are necessary for our ovarian function. So it's also important to take note of that. And then, of course, any diet that will predispose to becoming very, bulky and all of that, and then, of course, you start enjoying a very large BMI of something around 30. Usually this type of diets, of course, indirectly, these diets are actually putting these persons at risk of having reproductive problems. Okay. Yes. So men with a large BMI are also proven to have altered sperm parameters, where their sperms are affected by reason of their weight, especially for obese men. Okay. Yes, and then, of course, for lifestyle, it is recommended that, of course, people who are trying to conceive, they stay away from recreational drug use, caffeine, because even caffeine in itself has been linked to increased pregnancy losses, miscarriages. And of course, for smoking, people who engage in the smoking of cannabis and all of these things, they actually have deleterious effects, okay? And they result in a poor functioning of ovaries for women. And that's also proven. There's a small study that showed that, of course, women who engage in smoking, they will attain menopause earlier than other women.
Okay.
Yes. And for a woman to attain menopause, most likely her ovaries have already shut down before she can attain menopause. So you can see some of all these relationships. Alcohol does. Now, please, I don't want to be quoted, but of course, alcohol only has impact on the pregnancy. Okay. On the pregnancy, that is somebody has already achieved pregnancy, and then you're taking alcohol. Of course, you're doing more damage to that pregnancy than you can imagine. Then, the next, of course, that is also very important is infections. Now, most people in the past have had sexually transmitted infections that were poorly treated, maybe gonococcal or even chlamydia infections. Now, these infections, they have this propensity to cause tuber blockages. So for some women, they'll be like, I've never done abortion before. We know, or you had a sexually transmitted infection in the past that you probably didn't even know about. Okay?
Let alone to treat it.
Most of these infections would even be asymptomatic in women. So basically, they are silently there, damaging the tubes. Okay? By the time she is maybe experiencing one symptom or the other, it's most likely maybe in a chronic or maybe in a late phase, and the damage is already done. The tubes are already scarred, because they actually it's like they love that tube environment, this chlamydia and gonococcal infection. So just go there, cause scarifications, and by result of the reparative effect, of that scarification, when it's being repaired, when it's being healed up, of course, adhesions will form and occlude the tube, and then, of course, that woman will only be able to get pregnant when she engages the services of people like us, via other medical advancements, and reproductive techniques and technologies rather.
Okay.
So it's also important that, yes, it's very important that it's taken note of. Next is stress and anxiety. Stress can actually
I was going to ask you that too.
Yes, indirectly now, with emphasis on indirectly, stress can indirectly prevent a couple from getting pregnant. Now, stress in this case now, it is said that the stress can actually be present. It can actually be something that precedes the desire to get pregnant. Now, look at this. The case of Nigeria as stands at this moment. I mean, a lot of us are being faced with harsh realities.
Yeah.
I mean, so even for newly wedded couples, most of them, their priority will not be just to get pregnant immediately because they have to grapple with some of these harsh realities, hike in this, hike in that, fuel cost, everything, house rent, a lot of things. So these result in a lot of emotional instability for some people because, I mean, these days you go to the market, the cost of one thing today is not going to be the cost of that same thing tomorrow. So you have to grapple with some of these changes and fluctuations. So basically this can result in stress for couples, and as a result, many of them would not, this stress in this case now will even result in a diminished libido, low libido. The moment you're already having low libido, the couple doesn't want to engage in sexual activity. So basically, by extension, of course, pregnancy is not in view. Okay, so these of and even for people who are wanting to, get pregnant, even by the stress they're encountering indirectly, would also result in their low chance of getting pregnant. Because most likely they would have been thinking so much, and maybe the time that they will be ready to have intercourse and already be past our fertile window. So they just have it just for the fun of it and just hope that maybe something comes out of it. And now that's also for people who, for instance, do not even know their fertile window. They do not have excellent knowledge of their cycle. You can see that's the reason why I laid that background, because these things are very, very important. So that is how stress affects
chances of conceiving.
Yes, also important to also state that, of course, the stress can also still come from people who, of course, they've done all the doables in an attempt to get pregnant, but all their efforts have been futile. So, of course, stress, depression, anxiety, all of that can actually develop from all of those efforts that have proven abortive. So, the last, of course, is religious dogmatism. I mean, in Nigeria, we're religious people and we are spiritual at that. But then, of course, our religiosity and even sometimes our spirituality can also prevent some couples from, achieving conception on time. Because sometimes, especially people who are very, very religious, they see medical intervention or prompt medical intervention as an antagonism, or an antagonist to their faith system or to their faith beliefs. So it is also important they know that, being religious and also wanting to seek medical intervention, it's actually something that can go side by side. It doesn't downplay the level of your faith or your belief in God. It just means that, of course, you're taking an extra step just to see that you get pregnant on time. That is it. So it is something that is very important. To note. Yes. So just to summarize, so basically we've talked about maternal age, diet, lifestyle, the time and the frequency of conception, stress, infections, religious dogmatism, and of course, one last thing that I spoke about, occupational hazards and previous contraception.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Aboloje. This is Women Radio, WFM 91.7, Nigeria's first radio station for women and their families. And this is the program Radio Doctor, your free health consultation program where real doctors advise real people. This is about 26 minutes to 11. All right, and today we have Dr. Collins Aboloje, and he's an Assistant Medical Director, Fertility Physician at St. Ives Specialist Hospital. All right, Radio Doctor today on women's health is supported by ACT Foundation. Now, do well to call in. The doctor is here and he'll be ready to respond to your questions. All right, on 07000 917 917. Send us a text or a WhatsApp message to 070 317 56537. All right, the number again is 07000 917 917. Send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 070 317 56537. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Where are you calling from? James from Ikorodu.
Yes.
All right, James, go ahead. We're with you.
First of all, I want to appreciate the doctor. She was so the what I've been going for a long time. But I still have a few questions for him.
Okay.
Yes, I'm sorry, but I'm able to.
I couldn't hear his question.
No, he's yet to ask. He just wants to make sure that you're with him. Go ahead. He's listening.
I'm here.
Okay. So, yes, I just want to ask you a question. I suffer from low testosterone. If I pronounce it right. So I want to ask, what can I do to improve the testosterone levels? What is the best way, sir?
Okay.
Sorry, your question is, what is the highest level?
No, he's suffering from low testosterone.
Okay, from a low testosterone level.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is the best way? What can I do?
How can you improve it?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So now, basically, if you're having testosterone problems, okay, the first thing to do is not just to try to improve it. Okay, you have to first of all go for proper evaluation. Okay, proper evaluation by a specialist. Okay, to be able to ascertain the reason why you're having low testosterone level. Now, if you're having low testosterone level, I'm also well, I don't want to say I'm positive. I actually want to say I'm positive that you also be having maybe poor sperm parameters. It most likely a very low sperm count and all of that. So basically, you have to know the reason why you're having low sperm parameters and low testosterone level. Sometimes the reason can be genetic. The reason can actually be genetic, or sometimes it can actually be anatomical. Okay, it can actually be anatomical. So basically, there are still some genetic reasons why some people can have a low testosterone level, like maybe Klinefelter syndrome. These are genetic conditions. So this is the reason why I said you have to go for expert evaluation, okay, to be sure of what you're having and the reason why you're having low testosterone level. But it's also important you know that as by reason of age, the testosterone level of men reduces. And similarly, their sperm parameters, both volume, count, motility, morphology, also changes as the year goes by, especially after the age of 40. So these are some of these things we also take into recognition, okay, when making that outright decision. So basically, some anatomical changes that could result in this is maybe a person who is having a varicose, okay, will be having poor testicular function. The testosterone is produced from the testicles. Okay. Yes. Similarly, the sperm are produced from the testicles. So basically, if you're having varicose, which is where there's an enlarged vein in the testicle, of course, it will impair the function of the testicles. So spermatogenesis and similarly hormone production function will suffer. So these are some of these things that will also be evaluated and checked, and of course, then appropriate decision will be taken to tackle whatever is found.
Okay. But sometimes it can affect my erection. That's what bothers me sometimes.
Sometimes it affects your erection.
Yes. So I was wondering, but a medical doctor told me that it's the test is wrong, but I just conducted the test. I had not gone back to him. But when I heard the program, I just thought you shed my light on it.
Now, a low testosterone level, of course, will ultimately result in poor sperm function, poor erection rather. That is an erectile dysfunction. Because like we said earlier, testosterone is also very important for the libido, that sexual drive, wanting to have intercourse. Basically, wanting to have intercourse does not just start from just achieving erection. Of course, there are a cascade of events that have to take place, increased blood flow. Of course, you being put in the mood by reason of the hormones that are being produced in the body, one of which is testosterone. Yet that gives you that drive to want to have intercourse. So basically, if the drive is low, the libido is low, of course, erection will not be there. Or erection will be poor, and this ultimately will affect your function and of course the ability to complete or impregnate your wife, because of course the intercourse itself will not be productive. You will not be able to achieve intercourse. You will not be able to achieve penetration and all of that. So, but the good news is there is a way out, and it is basically after evaluation and all of these are done by, just like you said, the doctor has said, go do your test, you run the test, So basically, you are still waiting to go back to him with the results. So basically, when you go back to him, of course, he looks at it, examines you further, possibly even does a scan for you just to ascertain that truly you do not have a varicocele, because varicocele are very common. They can be silent, they can be of different degrees. Okay, only the worst degrees will cause sperm derangements and all of that, of course. So he will examine you, do all of this, and then of course make his conclusion, and then of course drugs will be given, or injectables as the case might be. So basically there is a solution for all of that. You have to just see the physician and let him do his thing.
All right, James.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
very much.
Thank you too for calling. You too, James. Thank you so much for calling. All right, this is Women Radio WFM 91.7, and this is the program Radio Doctor, where real doctors advise real people. All right, so this is a free health consultation program for you. Call in. Today's on women's health, supported by ACT Foundation. Call in. Dr. Collins Aboloje is here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning,
Titilayo, good morning. How are you today? All right.
I have a question. My question is that I really trying to proceed. After intercourse, what is the best position to lie down? Is it the back, the chest, right side, or left side?
Okay.
You get my question, ma'am?
Yes, I do. Dr. Collins, did you get her?
Not really. The voices are a little bit distorted. I can hear you clearly,
Okay.
but the callers, their voices are a little bit.
All right. So Titilaya is asking. Titilaya is asking that after intercourse, she's trying to conceive. After intercourse, what's the best position to lie down for fertilization to take place? So that's her question. Titilaya, am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's her question.
So now the best position to lie, is just lie on your back. Just lie on your back. Well, see, the thing is, there are a lot of ideas out there. That people after intercourse you lie down, place a pillow underneath your butt, so as to have an elevation, so as to allow the sperms to flow in and all of that.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, some people even believe that they have to do that, because there is something. I mean, this is the Yoruba land. There's something called Eda. That's it. It pushes the sperms out. I'm just trying to just help out, because I'm pretty sure even the caller actually has heard that same thing too.
Maybe.
There's really nothing that pushes the semen out. This semen comes out in a little bit of viscous state. So basically, once it is ejaculated, now I'm saying the word semen. Semen, is the fluid that is ejaculated by the man. The sperms of the man are inside of that semen. So basically, once the semen comes out in that viscous state, it gets liquefied. It comes out as a little bit thick, like a thick fluid, very thick. So when it goes into the vagina, it gets liquefied, and then by reason of all the cervical mucus and its associated permeability and all of that, the semen would have mixed with the cervical mucus, and of course create a free ground or a free passage for the sperms inside of that semen to move up and go do their thing in the tube, and go fertilize the egg in the tube. So the truth is, there is no absolute recommendation for you to lie down on your back. Yes, even physicians will do it, but now I'm just going to state it just for the record. Yes, you can do that. Lie on your back is a very good position. Just lie on the back, like as though you were doing your missionary position. Just lie on your back. You can place the pillow in there just to be sure that yes, I've fulfilled all righteousness. I've fulfilled my conscience, and so that let the sperm move in there. The truth is, even if you lie down there for 2 hours or 3 hours, once you stand back up, some seminal fluid is going to come out. Because once the semen liquefies in there, some of the fluid will come back out, but the sperms that are required to do the job have already gone up. They have already swum towards the direction of the tubes to go fertilize any available egg that is present.
Okay. All right. Thank you so
I don't know if I've
much.
answered that question better.
Yes,
I just
I'm
have
sure.
to just touch some other gray areas just
All
to
right.
give her enough more satisfaction. Yes.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Who is Favor calling?
All right. Favor, where are you calling us from? Ojoju. All right, Favor, go ahead.
Yes, there's no mercy, so the doctor already said what I wanted to ask.
Okay.
It's something that occurred to me. So after the intercourse, so when I just relax for a little bit, once I stand up, the flu will just come out. That is what I wanted to ask.
Okay.
No more license to it.
All right, Favor. Thank you very much for calling there.
Thank you.
I'm glad the doctor has answered you even before you asked. All right, so this is the Women Radio WFM 91.7. This is Radio Doctor, your free health consultation program, where real doctors advise real people. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser, and today we have Dr. Colin Tabulaje. He's an assistant medical director and fertility physician at St. Ives Specialist Hospital. And today he's consulting and advising on what you should know when trying to get pregnant, or TTC, like we all know or hear about it on social media, trying to conceive. All right, so do want to call us up on 07000 917 917. Send a text or a WhatsApp message on 07031756537. All right, so we just have a few more minutes to do this. Let's get to hear from you. The doctor is still here to hear from you and advise you appropriately. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
Yeah, I enjoy your program. So I just want to find out if the woman is 46, what's the probability that she can conceive again? I'm from Ikorodu.
What's your name, please?
Joseph from Ikorodu.
Okay, Joseph from Ikorodu. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph. Yeah, thank you for that question. Now, at the age of 6, okay, getting pregnant naturally, pregnancy, super cool. Now, from age 5, okay, there will be a fast decline in the quantity and the quality of our eggs. And by the time the woman gets to the 40, when she crosses the age 40, okay, that's very high, okay, of 5 eggs
You just have to.
reduce in activity and also in quality. Okay, so we talk about the potential the eggs, to make it difficult for such eggs to get fertilized. And if a woman at the age of 46, most likely would not be having a risk of bad quality.
All right, Dr. Collins, I think we're having some network issues. We're finding it hard to hear you. It's kind of breaking. So, could you just maybe start again so that he can hear all you said.
Okay, so now a woman would be very difficult to get pregnant. Very
have to tell him to
the
rejoin.
of
To cut it and rejoin.
quantity and quality of eggs. Now, to answer that question in a broader context, okay, getting pregnant naturally because of
Wi-Fi.
but also
This is the Wi-Fi.
through as this egg
The what?
through
Our
as
Wi-Fi.
IVF. Okay, she can still get pregnant. Or yeah, pay for that in order to get pregnant. So that this that quantity and quality of our eggs. As the woman ages, the ovary also age, and in turn the eggs that are present in there to reduce and age. So it makes the egg themselves to be very difficult to get fertilized, even by good quality sperm. So that's the reason.
Okay. All right. Then.
Just
Yes, Dr. Abolade, although the network was, playing some pranks on us, but I want to believe that Joseph has gotten a hint of it, because from all you said, just to summarize what you said, after the age of 40, the eggs diminish. So there are other options to look out for. Okay, at a faster rate, there's IVF to look out for, and, I think that's just, about what we heard. If you want to add anything to that.
well, I think that is enough.
Okay.
That's enough.
Okay.
Once they go to the physician, gynae, or they come with that sort of even in the hospital, they visit and also as some other things,
Okay. All right. So, Joseph, thank you very much for your question. I just hope that you're able to get some answers. All right. So, over 40, the eggs diminish at a very fast rate. But when you get to see a specialist, there are other examinations that will be carried out, and there are other options that will be given too. So, I think that is good for for the question. All right, so let's see if we can take one more call before we go. 07000 917 917. Send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 070-317-56537. All right, this is Radio Doctor right here on Women Radio WFM 91.7. This is the last call we'll take this morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Bring down the volume of your radio. All right, Augustina from Ogun State. What part of Ogun State, please?
After some
Oh, okay. All right.
Ifo.
Info. All right.
To ask doctor, if somebody is in central menopause and he doesn't have intercourse, is there any, can it cause any problem?
Okay, so you have you are at menopause right now.
Central menopause.
Okay, enter menopause, and you don't have intercourse.
Is there any problem it can cause the person?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Augustine. All right, doctor.
Okay. But of course, I intercourse. There's no problem to see you.
Okay.
There's no problem. It's just the activity that results in or that results in reproduction. So basically, it's going positive into you. At menopause, a lot of the hormones have diminished, estrogens, everything come down. So basically, she does not have proper functioning of reproductive tract and reproductive organs anymore. The uterus is no longer eating, the ovaries are shut down. So there is thing there. There's nothing to be worried about. There's nothing to be worried about.
Okay.
70 or 75 60-year-old women do not have intercourse, and then of course they still go on to live their life to their hundreds, 110, 100. And it won't have any problems. Yes. Basically,
All right.
there's nothing to worry about.
All right, Augustina, you've heard it from the doctor. There's absolutely nothing to worry about. It doesn't affect you in any way. You can go ahead and live your best life. All right, Augustina, thank you so much for your question this morning. So, Dr. Buleje, this is where we wrap it up. So, do you have any last words you would want to mention or something you want us to take note of? Especially for women, or rather couples who are trying to conceive. What is the last thing you want to leave them with this morning?
Advice to couples who are trying to conceive is they should have prompt visits to their physicians. Okay, basically, if you're trying to conceive, you don't just you can actually start the entire process by visiting a physician first of all. Okay, it doesn't cost anything. I mean, you just visit just to get better advices and better ways to do things. And of course, if you're under the age of 35, you just have to be consistent in trying to get pregnant. At least try for 1 year before you visit your physician to complain that okay, I've been trying for 1 year. Okay, and of course, if you're more than the age of 35, then of course you only have to try for 6 months before you proceed to your physician to inquire, to have further inquiries as to why you will not be getting pregnant. And lastly, I think it is important, especially I'm going to speak about religious dogmatism again, where I think it's very important that there is a union between our religiosity and prompt visits to physicians for interventions, okay? Because God does things through people and through interventions. So it is very important, rather than just stick to prayer and fasting and shun medical advice or medical interventions. Of course, you can do everything side by side just to get your desired result on time.
Okay.
On time.
All right.
Yeah, so that is my last word. Yeah.
Thank you so
And,
much.
well, just to add, if you don't, I think it's also important we also take our physical health into. I mean, it's important we try to up our physical health game. Okay, try to do frequent screenings for infections, your sugar levels, your blood pressure. Watch your BMI, engage in exercises, and just live a healthy lifestyle. Just engage in a healthy lifestyle.
Okay.
Get good diet. Usually, most of these things, when you engage in all of these steps, okay, infertility one way or the other will be a little bit far from, of course, this is of course still subject to the availability or the absence of some other factors. So that is my last word.
Thank you so much, Dr. Collins Abulaji, for being part of the program this morning. We really do appreciate all you've told us this morning.
Thank you very much. I'm actually honored to be here.
Oh.
Thank you invited me here.
All right, do have a great day ahead and enjoy the rest of the week.
And you too. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, so that's Dr. Collins Abulaji, an Assistant Medical Director and Fertility Physician at St. Ives Specialist Hospital. All right, so today's radio doctor is supported by ACT Foundation, which is on women's health. Tomorrow we'll have another episode of Radio Doctor from 10 to 11. All right, so thank you so much for all your calls and all who listened this morning and were also enlightened in one way or the other. All right, so Radio Doctor is women's radio. First is Nigeria's first free consultation specialized radio health program that comes to you Mondays through Fridays at 10 a.m. Do want to join us again tomorrow morning at 10. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser. A very big thank you to the producer of the program, Esther Larabi, and the executive producer, Tom Okewale Shonaya. All right, Women's Health and Radio Doctor is supported by ACT Foundation. Do have a great day and remain healthy.
What's up? Sky. Smile.